Hello, it's a wonderful morning coming to you from our studios on Kairaba Avenue. This is QTV This Morning. I am Ibrahim Balde. Well, it's another fresh morning. Get ready to start and conquer your day.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, Julia, how are you?
I am okay, alhamdulillah.
You are missing.
Yes, I was, but I am back.
She was missing in action yesterday.
She is back.
I think yesterday, was it yesterday I had to pretend to be Julda? Yes, it was.
Yes, it was yesterday.
Yeah. Something
but
reminds me.
You did well.
When she said, but I am back, it reminds me of Arnold Schwarzenegger. You know, he always liked that phrase.
I'll be back.
I'll be back.
You know, sir. So there was a movie that I watched, Arnold Schwarzenegger. I think it's a new movie.
Right.
So what happened is he said to the other guy, I will be back. So the guy said to him, this time you're not going. You've been coming back for a very long time, so you are not going anywhere. I watched that movie and, you know.
That's funny.
Yeah, so Mr. Ade, what's up? What's going on?
Yeah, I'm fine. Our colleague Choi is in China. He'll be staying a bit longer than we had anticipated because there's a China-Africa trade summit that's taking place, and so it didn't make sense for him to come back and then 2 days later there's this big summit. And also the people at CGTN, who we're now going to partner with, they really liked his work and they wanted him to work with them on that summit, so that's amazing. Quite a good plus. And also when the 4 months that they had gone for the training expired, they asked Choi to give the thank you remarks on behalf of the African contingent. There were 60 journalists from around the world there, several from several African countries. And Choi has really embraced China, and China has embraced him back. So yeah.
The surname says it all, Choi.
Well, Choi is a brother to the Chinese. So Choi, Ching Chong, Li, they are all one family.
Choi is a name that you find in China and in Korea. So
we are proud of him. Congratulations,
Choi. He's done very well.
Yeah, Choi is a very dedicated young man.
He is indeed.
Very serious in his area of work, even by seeing how he comport himself and, you know, the efforts that he puts. You know, all of his colleagues at QTV, most of them, we call him Top Story. I mean, that's how we call him. So, you know, he puts extra effort in his stories all the time.
So, so I mentioned Choi. He's not the only one who's out of the country at the moment. Our colleague, Mamoudou Gajaga, is in Berlin for the Paralympics, the Special Olympic Games, and there's a small Gambian contingent there, just two-person contingent. In fact, I think there are more officials than athletes, as usual. But he's there and he's been sending reports. Unfortunately, the news overran yesterday. We weren't able to bring his report. Yeah. But hopefully we'll bring 2 of his reports today.
Yeah, I mean, isn't this amazing?
To our colleagues. It is. I'm personally really proud of
Don't forget the triple Alaji. Baukar Sise.
Well, I was going to come.
The triple Alaji is in Makkah.
For the triple Alaji, I don't think I even needed to mention him because he's been on this program at least twice since he went for Hajj, you know, this current Hajj that he's gone for, which is his 3rd one. So yeah, I'm not sure, yes, but you're right. So we have 3 of our colleagues.
But make sure if he comes this time, let him behave like an Alaji.
He has always behaved like an Alaji. I don't know what you mean by that.
No, Alaji as in Alaji.
I repeat.
We have different. He should behave like an Alaji. So we have the African proverb. I mean, although it's not on the paper, I am going to charge Francis for this, because he made me remove my African proverb.
Well, you should bring him and have him read it out next time if this happens.
Exactly. All right. He who rides the horse of greed will arrive at the destination of shame.
Ooh.
He who rides the horse of greed will arrive at the destination of shame.
That's an interesting one. That's an interesting one. Julde, you go first.
Whilst
I'm trying to figure it out.
Self-explanatory. I mean, if you are greedy, you want it all, you're not content, you know, the likelihood of you becoming, you know, shame, you know, or embarrass is very high. Exactly. So I think it's important for everybody to be content with what you have. But if you want it all, you lose it all. And oftentimes, like, greedy people want it all. If you have, like, it's human nature, like, we always want evolution,
we always want more.
We will always want more and more and more. That is advancement. But, you know, certain greed will lead you to shame. So it's always good to be content as a human being. If you have this, try as much as possible to work hard for it, earn it, and then, you know, you will earn your respect, and then you will not be, you know, ashamed or embarrassed in any situation that you find yourself in. But if you see yourself and you want to grab everything and knowing fully well that you're not working hard for it, you know, you always find yourself in such situations. Mr. Ade, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you to a large extent. It's a fine line sometimes between greed and ambition and so on, because most people, if you look at them, they will say, even though I'm happy in my job, I would like to get promoted, I would like to get paid more. There's nothing wrong with that. As long as you work for it, you strive for it, then you can justify it to yourself, you can justify it to your workplace that you deserve it. But for some people, even after they get there and they get to what might be the top of their profession, they still want more. And, you know, for some people, it becomes you're chasing money. You know, they asked Lionel Messi, why did he turn down this $2 billion contract? And his answer was brilliant. He said, I'm already rich. How much money can you spend in one lifetime? He's right. He already probably is worth about $500 million. Even if he lives to be 100, he can't spend that money. So why say, oh, I'm going to Saudi because I'm going to get $2 billion over 2 years? Spend it on what? You know, so sometimes, and that's an example of somebody not going after greed, not going after the money. He's going to America instead, where he's getting paid a lot less. But he says, I feel I'll be contented and I will live in a situation where my family will be happy as well. Of course, you'll be living in Miami, which has lovely weather as well. So there's that as well. Of course, Saudi has nice weather, although it's mainly hot all the time. In Miami it's hot, but at least there's hot and cold. So yeah, so I think, you know, don't chase things beyond, you know, what you need. But, you know, it's human nature not to be content with what we have. But I think that's built in. Well,
contentment, it's very significant. I mean, even when you look at the religious aspect, even the Quran is telling you.
This boy is always quoting Quran.
Yes, it's the Quran. The Quran is telling you. I mean, you know, and those who are content. You know, always it mentions those who are patient and content. You understand? So I think it's important to be content. Sometimes if you are content with what you have, I mean, you have peace of mind. You know, you are always at ease. You don't have to rush for things. I mean, I want to get this, I want to get this. I want to get this contract, I want to get that. It's good to get contracts, but also I think contentment should play a key.
I like the word you use, patience, there, because I think that's something that should be aligned with it, because sometimes people are impatient and they go for a job interview, they don't get it, and they get angry. And I always say to them, look at yourself. You know, did you perform well in the interview? And if you say yes, well, maybe there was somebody better, and maybe it's not your time. You might get the job, and you don't know what might happen. I can give examples of my own, where, you know, I went for a job, 50 of us applied, it came down to 2 of us. The guy who got the job was sacked 6 months later. So, you know, who knows? If I had gotten the job, perhaps I would have been sacked 6 months later. So don't, you know, I was a bit downcast when I found I didn't get the job, because it was a job I really liked, I really wanted. But at the end, after a couple of days, I sort of said, well, it's not for me. And I was quite chill.
It reminds me of sometimes you rush for things. I mean, there's a friend of mine. I don't know if one can remember. Many years ago, over a period of 10 years now, there is a building that collapsed at the Fajara, just opposite the Fajara War Cemetery. It used to, like, it's the Sankunsila building. One of my friends was rushing for something. You know, he is older, but he said he was going for something, but at some point, something delayed him, and he felt very bad. He felt very bad. So the following day, we received news that, in fact, the building he was going to visit
is the one that
the building collapsed.
Wow.
Yeah, it collapsed, and it killed a lot of people.
Yeah.
They were using caterpillars to remove these people
Wow.
from the ground. I think if people are watching, they should be able to relate. It's like, it's more than 10 years ago when it happened. So this guy
but you're right, sometimes patience and so on. A friend of mine is now deceased, but he was slightly younger than my father. And he was at one time mayor of Freetown. And he was telling me that once he was arrested at the orders of the president, Shaka Stevens. And on one particular morning, he heard all the cells being emptied. And then there was silence. And he started banging. And the chief prison officer came and said, "Why are you banging?" He said, "They've taken all those people. Why haven't they taken me?" And he said, "You don't want to be taken." He said, "Why not?" He said, "Those guys are all going to be hanged today."
Oh my
he was the
goodness.
only one who was not hanged that day. Yeah. And he
Was
told me
he hung
Patience is a
eventually?
he was eventually freed. A guy called Akibo Betts. Most Sierra Leoneans watching will know him. He was very famous mayor of Freetown, and he was my friend. We were working on his autobiography when he was telling me this story, and he said that day he slept. He said because later the evening the president gave the order that he should be released, but the other guys were all executed that day.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so you know.
Well, very soon it will be election in Sierra Leone.
Yeah.
Is
And,
it next week?
you know, and people
No,
are
Saturday.
People
Saturday.
are people
In
are
2 days' time.
people are waiting for this. I mean, I think it's important for people of Sierra Leone to go and make the decision they want to do. If they are to maintain the same president, fine. If they want to make a change too, fine. We will see.
But
We
like
wish them
every
well.
election in Sierra Leone in the last few years, there's been a lot of violence. One, possibly 3 people were killed yesterday, and so, you know, when I hear people here talk about hate speech, you don't get anything like the level of violence in Sierra Leone since 1967. Every election has been violent, and I mean seriously violent. There's never been an election since then when
That was
people have not
peaceful.
died because of electoral violence. Never. I mean, that's how terrible it is in Sierra Leone. So people come out, the leaders of all the parties talk about peace and so on, because Gambia and Sierra Leone, there are lots of close ties.
Yeah.
So people here are concerned about what's happening there. There are thousands of Sierra Leoneans living here.
Yeah.
They're concerned. And, you know, some of our friends, a friend of mine from Liberia, she went, but she's actually leaving today because the level of violence that's there. So we hope that Saturday will come and pass peacefully, but at the moment it's not looking good.
Yeah,
It's
we
not
wish them
looking
well.
good, yes. I'm told that we will take a look at the video of the mayor of Banjul, Rohey Malick Lowe, on the alleged expired miners processing to oil. So we'll take a look at the video. Although we are not getting a video in the studio, we're just going to hear audio, I think.
I don't think the viewers needed to know that.
Yeah, so
Hey.
we'll take a look at the video. Now, what I mean is we are not getting anything on our screen from the studio. Yeah, so I think they should come and help us with that. So let's take a look at the video and we'll be right back.
I don't want to elaborate much on the issue since the case is with the police, but I can just tell you that it is very, very unfortunate to have people transforming expired mayonnaise into a cooking oil and selling it into the market. So I just want to tell people to desist from such act, and also to tell the people of Banjul that everything is under control. There is no need for a panic, and this is an exercise that we have been doing undercover for almost a week. So I want to first and foremost thank the people who took the bull by the horn and stand firm to make sure that this so-called cooking oil will not enter the market. It is very, very sad. Yeah, it's very sad. Can you imagine taking these things from the dump site, directly from the dump site? Yes, it was expired, and there's a process of also treating expired food. I don't want to go into that nitty-gritties because we have the health sector here also who have some responsibility to do with this. There is no need for an alarm. We have trying to try our best to make sure that these things does not enter into the I wouldn't even say the market.
Yes, that's the mayor of Banjul there, Rohey Malick Lowe. I mean, you know, also deliberating on the expired miners saga. It's important for us to take note of the types of foods we eat. I mean, nowadays anything can come. I wonder, during the days of our grandparents, I mean, my grandfather used to tell me, look at you, look how weak you look. I mean, look at me, I'm old, but I'm still stronger than you. And I agree. He looks very strong, yes. And for us, I am young, but I mean, he looks stronger.
Right. And healthy.
And healthy.
There's a curious something. Because of medical advances, people now live longer than they've ever lived. But at the same time, people have more diseases. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that we eat a lot of processed foods. We don't eat a lot of natural or organic foods. It's around the world. In some countries, we eat organic foods because of poverty, because we haven't got the chemicals to eat all the genetically modified foods that they eat in America and in England and other places. And so you find people here, they grow stuff organically and we eat organically. But nonetheless, people here and in many countries eat a lot of processed foods. I was joking the other day that since I came to the Gambia, I've never seen a country where they use as much mayonnaise, probably more than the French who invented the thing. Mayonnaise, ketchup, it's like, it's an addiction here. They slap it on everything. You go and you ask for chips, takeaway, you go and you open it, you say, oh no, why have they plastered it with mayonnaise and ketchup? You know, so a lot of processed foods we eat, and that is why perhaps but nonetheless, when you get sick, there are lots of medicines that you can go and take to make you well, but I think a lot of it is to do with that, that we've moved away from eating what is grown organically, sadly.
Well, I mean, I think we need to take note. I mean, Julda, this is very serious. I mean,
more than the word. I mean, if people can use expired mayonnaise to process it into oil, I don't know where we're headed to as a country.
Where did they even get the idea? That's the thing that I find quite intriguing.
Something that
it would never have occurred. I mean, we were discussing this, and you were saying, I never knew they could do such a thing. Yeah. I'm like, where did they get the idea to do it, that you could do that? And I guess when you look at the ingredients, it tells you what
to do,
what's made up of, and you can say, oh well, how can I? But I'd never heard of it ever until this story broke.
Maybe if they boil it, it will melt. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
exactly.
Let's not give people ideas.
How to do it.
I know really one thing. I know mayonnaise itself is oil. I mean,
it's oily. It's got lots of
and mixed with eggs, I think. Yeah, but I mean, you know, no matter what, for me, if you can remove the processing itself, but for me, my problem is the expiry date of the product. Yeah. That's my problem.
Well, this is
and something that was thrown in a dump site,
which makes it.
In fact, it's not. You know, piercing to the eye. I mean, looking at where they are processing this whole thing.
That's terrible.
I don't know whether it's poverty or wickedness.
Well, you just took the words out of my mouth, because I was going to say that who is it that they're selling to? It must be to people who are so poor that they can't afford even the cheapest oil that is sold in the shops and the markets. Because, you know, really, who else would buy that? You know, when it's extracted in that manner. So it was quite a shocking thing when I heard it. And as I said, I've never come across it before.
Yeah,
but there is an incident about smoked fish. They use
the sniper
on a smoked fish.
Yeah.
From there, they use this cow kanda. They use car tires to burn. I mean, what are we expecting? I mean,
to
clarify,
it's
not a surprise to us.
Yes, to help us clarify that minus thing, we have the police PRO on the line. I mean, they've confirmed making some arrests these days, you know, in connection to the expired miners. Yep. And she will clarify, you know, what happened. So on the line, we have the police PRO. Good morning, PRO.
Good morning.
How have you been? I mean, you've been off air for a very long time. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Yes, I mean, if you can help us, we are not getting the PRO clearly in the studio. Yeah, so PRO, please take us through what transpired.
Okay, the incident wasn't officially reported to the police. we were acting on a tip-off we had from an informant regarding the mayonnaise. So we dispatched some of our team and investigators to the dump site where we found a man reprocessing the mayonnaise into what looked like oil.
Yeah.
So there were 4 gallons of oil made from suspected to be made from the from the reprocessed mayonnaise, 2 tins of mayonnaise itself, and 1 bar of soap. So he claimed that the reprocessed mayonnaise is turned into oil to be sold to local women who use it in making local soap. However, we haven't yet established if the reprocessed mayonnaise is used into what is made of soap, as he claimed, and we're not also sure yet if it is sold to people in the market for consumption or not. But investigation is still ongoing. And contrary to the reports we've been receiving on social media platforms, we haven't made more than 1 arrest. We made only 1. So the other women were just called to give their statements to that effect.
Well, I mean, it's like informations are flowing and everybody is thinking. Now you see this story has already changed. I mean, according to what they said, they are processing this to at least so that women can use it to make soap. So, I mean, how soon do you think, I mean, we will get the clear information regarding that process?
That I cannot guarantee, but we are working tirelessly with our investigators are working tirelessly with the food safety and quality authorities to ensure all we need to know, get, and do is done as soon as possible, because this is a health hazard if it is sold to the people in the market and people are consuming it.
The remaining mayonnaise, is it still at the dump site, or the food safety officials are, taking it away from the
what we were able to lay hands on were confiscated. Unfortunately, what we saw on the labels of the mayonnaise is to expire by December. So we are to establish why someone will dispose of mayonnaise that is not yet expired and reprocess it into something that would be used as local soap.
Exactly. I mean, I just want to know, I am not being biased here, I just want to know, the arrest made, is it a Gambian national?
Why?
No, this is a Guinean national.
Okay, all right, just to make to make that clear.
And Binta, were you able to establish who actually threw this mayonnaise there? Were you able to establish exactly who it was?
Well, we have written to the company that supplies this mayonnaise, the manufacturer of the company, to not only establish why they threw the mayonnaise or disposed of the mayonnaise that is not yet expired, but to also establish how authentic their existence is in the Gambia.
Ms. Ade?
No, I mean, unfortunately, I have to take a slightly different view about matters. The newspapers identified the individual arrested as a Guinean. I'm sure Gambians get arrested every day. I never see headlines saying Gambian man arrested. But if it's a Senegalese or it's a Guinean, why does the police feel the need to do that, by the way?
I don't think it's about the need of the police to kind of stereotype individuals involved in alleged crimes. I think it's the information sought from the police to clarify if the individual is Gambian, Guinean, Senegalese, or whatever the nationality the person is. So we don't put emphasis on the nationality of the people when they do something or are alleged to do something. But I think it's just a way of projecting news to get more attention or something. But that is not the intention of the police at any point.
I'm glad to hear that.
Well, PRO will be waiting for the end of the investigation to see, the outcome of the investigation. Absolutely. I think that's simple. For now, we cannot say much, and we just wait for the investigation.
I think it's in early stages. So yes.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for talking to us, PRO, on this morning.
having me.
All right, viewers, we'll take a short break. After the break, we will be back.
Technology has always been at the forefront of our lives, and the way we use it has evolved drastically over the years. With the advent of 5G internet, we are entering a new era of technological innovation that promises to transform the way we live, work, and play. 5G internet is capable of providing data speeds up to 100 times faster than 4G, making it the ideal solution for streaming high-quality videos, playing online games, and downloading large files on the go. 5G internet is already transforming cities across the globe, powering smart cities, self-driving cars, and virtual reality experiences that were once thought impossible. 5G internet is also paving the way for Internet of Things, allowing for seamless connectivity between devices and the creation of a truly connected world. For the first time in the Gambia, QCell is bringing tomorrow's technology to you today with the launch of QCell 5G Internet. Get ready to experience the out-of-this-world wonders of QCell's 5G Internet. For more information, call 111. QCell. We innovate, others follow.
Zade, I don't use that on my car. I cannot use that on my car.
There are lots of weird things going around
Definitely.
in this country.
You know, and you know, the thing is, we have, like Julia said, we have a lot of things going on. Some of them you don't even know them. You don't realize them, while people are doing them, you know.
Like, like what we've just been sort of talking about, and in case the viewers wondered why we were laughing when we came back on air, is that he mentioned that, you know, people extract oil that's already been used in cars and has gone around the engines and is not fit to be in an engine, and they extract diesel from it that people then buy. And again, I find that quite extraordinary.
All right, so let's take a look at some of the headlines of the newspapers. NAWEC ought to reduce iron content in water supply.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So we also have the Foria. They are always asking, is there a contingency fund to compensate victims of demolition under OIC?
We've been told that there is, and I guess the reason they're asking the question is because we still keep hearing stories of people saying they haven't been paid. Their buildings or their houses have been demolished and they've still not received any payment as yet, but we keep getting told that there is a fund. So it would be nice to get to the bottom of that one, and so it's a good question for them to ask.
We also have another headline: 2 men charged with impersonation as law enforcement officers.
But are they Gambian men?
Well,
I'm joking.
Well, yes.
You know, I mean, yeah, 2 men. You find a lot of this, and sometimes I see people going around, something that never used to be allowed before. You see people going around with kind of military-looking fatigues, which never used to be allowed. In fact, in many African countries, this is not allowed. But yet I see people who are obviously not in the military going around in sort of semi-military-looking stuff and not being apprehended or told to take it off. But I'm not sure what the sort of particular example given there relates to. But obviously, that's a serious matter. Any other interesting headlines?
Premature babies sharing incubator.
Sharing incubators?
Yeah.
You haven't read this?
They said premature babies sharing incubators.
It came up in the National Assembly.
I saw that at some point.
And apparently it had one National Assembly member in tears, that premature babies were sharing an incubator. So this is on record. This is not some fanciful kind of social media story. This one was debated in the National Assembly, and when the report was read, that they went and did an inspection, and as they went around, they saw babies sharing an incubator. Quite extraordinary.
Well, I think these are basic things that, I mean, the health sector should get enough of them. I mean, maybe other kind of diseases that people get might be, some of them are rare, that we can understand. But things like dialysis machines, things like incubators, you know, those are things that we should get as a country. Because it's obvious, you must get people that will be like...
I always have the same response to this. These things are expensive, and people always say we should get them. Well, okay, are you going to give them the money to get them? You know, it's not everything that we need and want that we can get. And we have to be realistic sometimes. Sometimes we have unrealistic expectations. I hear people say all the time, we should get this, we should get that. From where? We don't have oil, diamond, gold, any of that. Tourism has gone down, something that used to give us a lot of money. People sending remittances have gone down. That used to bring money into the country. Where are we going to get the money to get all these things that we need? Yes, we need them. Yes, we want them. They're desperately needed. But where do we get the money for them?
We have to start thinking and sweating. We have to start using the things that we have.
And we have to be realistic.
We have to start, you know, stop expecting monies from donors.
Yeah.
Let us work.
Look, every time I hear the word money from donors, I go back to the facts, okay? Gambians send 1,000 times more money to the country than donors have given us in 20 years, in 1 year. What Gambians send back is more than donors have given us in 20 years. So when I keep hearing donor this, donor that, it's rubbish. Let's look at the facts, and the facts are your brothers and sisters, cousins, and whoever who are abroad, the money they send in outstrips anything combined in 1 year than we get from donors in 20 years. So what's all this stuff about donors? Our governments go to donors and they give us this, they give us that. But when you compare, one day you'll hear they give us 20 million. In 2022, Gambians sent $1 billion. When did we ever get $1 billion from donors? When? Never. We've never got that. In 20 years, all the donor money hasn't reached 1 billion, and we got that in 1 year. So let's stop this nonsense about, oh, donors this, donors that. The money we get, we should use wisely. And where I would agree...
That's the point, Mr. Ade. That's my point. Like, it's not as if we are that poor or that we can't really afford this and that. It's just that the way we are using stuff, the way we are managing our resources, it's the problem, Mr. Ade. You know, the looting, it's too much. And I think it's high time that we start regulating this country. It's not just we are that poor. I mean, there are countries... We are, but it's not like we can't really afford some of these things, Mr. Ade. It's not justifiable.
For people, but you see, the thing is, even though people send all this money, like I said, if you take 2022, the money sent officially and unofficially is probably about $1 billion, okay? But what's it for? It's to supplement people's wages, to help them buy clothes for Tobaski and Korite, and to buy rams and for weddings and so on. It's not going into stuff that is, in quotes, productive, except, of course, you're paying your tailor, you're paying the guy who's selling the ram and so on. So it's how is the money being channeled? That is where the problem comes. And you know, if donors made a difference, Gambia would be way, way up there, because it's such a small country. And for all these alleged donors who are helping us, they're just propping up. It's like plaster on a big, big wound.
That's more reason why we should really get rid of all these donors nonsense stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, you know, if you get rid of them, it's like, you know, they said if a blind man says, I'm going to stone you, it's because he's already stepped on the stone. If you're going to get rid of the donors, replace them with what? You have to have a properly structured something that will replace the donors. When COVID hit, and we had this terrible hit when nobody could travel. It hit the travel industry, it hit the tourism industry. We then said, okay, let's start thinking differently about different types of tourism. Well, have we done that? Have we done that really? I mean, recently we attended something just a couple of days ago where they seem to be thinking differently finally. And, you know, they've got like, is it 28 million or something? It's a lot of money, dollars, to kind of kickstart the tourism sector and help revamp some of the tourist destinations to try and get people. But we need to think differently, because what if another pandemic hits and people can't travel? Where do we get the money?
Agriculture used to be the backbone of our economy. It's no more. Before, we used to export lots of like granules, you know, fish, that is this bonga fish. But now we are not exporting that. You know, it's like it's going from bad to worse. What needs to be done to address these things? That is why I said it is possible. We can stand on our feet. We can stand alone. That is if we make like strategize ourselves, if we really stop wasting the resources on unnecessary stuff. I think we've been doing lots of unnecessary spending on certain things that are not important. Let us like set our priorities straight. These are the priorities. Let us set it straight and let's focus on that. I think if we're as a country, should invest heavily on agriculture, on tourism. You know, even these sectors, on fisheries, these 3 sectors can really move this country forward. Because they are the sectors, and we are on AGUA. AGUA Gambia is now qualified on AGUA. Course, but what are we doing about that as a country?
And it's interesting because just yesterday we carried a story about the patrol boats that have been given to the Gambian Navy at the naval headquarters, is where the thing. And by the way, it's naval. Everybody kept saying naval. It's naval, please.
Thank you for educating us.
No, I mean, it annoyed me yesterday when I kept it was in naval. It's naval headquarters. But the thing is, those boats, a part of what they were doing is to actually scare off people who are fishing illegally in our waters. We don't have enough of those boats. Yes, 2 which were given by the Gambia Maritime Administration, by the way, to the Navy, will help that. Because as you rightly say, if we get to a stage where we can't export bonga fish because people are coming from elsewhere to come and fish in our waters and we can't stop them, then that is going to hit us. It's going to impact us very, very greatly. But we really need to think differently about how we're going to generate the income that will get us the things we need in our schools, in our hospitals, in terms of equipment and so on. And that's the challenge for all of us. And it's, you know, for me, it's not something that you say, oh, leave it to government. It's for everybody because we will all benefit from it. You know, we don't want to go to a hospital and say, oh, I can't afford to do this in the Gambia, I have to go abroad because we don't have it in the Gambia. But something like incubators, next time somebody wants to give us something, say, you know, don't give us money, give us 10 incubators. You know, think differently, and that's what we should be striving
because
for.
the reason why I said that, because we've seen lots of donations, you know, going to the health sector. You know, sometimes these things, you see some of the donated items, they are lying there idly, and people are not using them. You know, some of them are even damaged. If you want to insist, go to all these hospitals, major hospitals, and see donated items are lying there. They are not being used.
Gathering
so
dust.
Perhaps it's not a priority, or they are not needed. If someone is helping you, help the person with some things that they really need. And that is up to you. If you want to help me, help me with stuff that I need.
And you know, you've just said the magic phrase there, because what tends to happen is that we're so grateful, and that's why these donors have such power, because they come and donate stuff that we didn't ask for necessarily. What we should be doing is say, you know, these are our needs. And the next story I'm going to tell you is 100% true. My father went to visit Guinea-Conakry at the time of Sékou Touré. And he drove by a football field and he saw what were like hundreds of tractors. They were rusting in the sun. And he was saying, why are these tractors not being deployed so that, you know, farmers can use them? And somebody said they were a gift from the Soviet Union, and they are not tractors, they are snow plows. We don't have snow in Guinea-Conakry. Why is the Soviet Union giving you 100 snow plows that they haven't even re-engineered to be used as tractors or something else? They just rusted there till they got rid of as scrap.
What a waste.
It's a waste. Nobody asked for it. You give us something we don't need. And so we never ask for stuff. When we go to these donors, that we're saying, don't give us this. Thank you. It's very nice of you, but you know, this is our shopping list of what we need.
Even handing over ceremonies, if you go there, I mean, some of the things you will obviously know, we are not going to use this in the Gambia.
I mean it doesn't make sense.
It's important to point out, if they want to bring you walking sticks, we have something that we need more than walking sticks.
I mean, we've had people who've gone out and they've on their own, private individuals, they've got wheelchairs because there's a shortage of wheelchairs in the country. Well, next time somebody wants to donate medical items, saying, you know what, give us 100 wheelchairs because we need 100 wheelchairs. We don't need some fancy stuff that is going to gather dust, as Julia says in the corner. Something that we need that's practical and that there's a great shortage of. That's what we need.
Exactly, that's what we need. And the government of the Gambia is putting strict measures, I mean, to the Indian shrubs that have been imported into this country, you know, after the death of these infants.
But I was a bit concerned when they said that the testing would be done in India. So these syrups will be tested before they're imported. You know what, let's not import that stuff. Because, you know, the Maiden Pharmaceuticals, who had been sort of blamed for some of the contaminated syrups that came, they'd been banned from operating in some Indian states, and yet they were able to export to the Gambia, little Gambia. You know, so maybe it's, you know, getting the medicines tested. And of course, when the Indian government did their investigation, they cleared them of all blame, said there's nothing for them, there's no case for them to answer. So perhaps, I'm not sure, you know, even though we're on friendly relations with the Indian government, I'm not sure leaving the testing of chemicals, you know,
wise.
syrups is wise at all. You know, because there's a lot of pressure. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry in India. You know, pharmaceuticals. You know, it's one of the biggest industries in the country, and so for them not to have a stain on their name is good. But you know, is it at the expense of Gambia and Gambians? Then, if that's the case, then let's say thank you, but no thanks. Thanks for agreeing to testing, but we'd rather not.
Yes, I mean, there is something that I want us to discuss. I think yesterday QTV was playing. They played a video of the foreign minister, and I think it was at the National Assembly when they were doing that sitting. It's an old National Assembly sitting video. You know, the money that was spent, you know, into these embassies that we have in other countries. I mean, I think we need to start cutting the cost of, I mean, operating as an embassy in other countries, because the monies that we spend in salaries, we spend in other expenditure, it's too much. It's a lot of millions. I don't think Gambia, we need all those embassies from around the world.
Yeah, I mean, embassies we have in countries that are not Commonwealth countries. In the ones that are Commonwealth countries, we have high commissions. So high commissions and embassies have similar role. But I think what you'll find is that, yes, you can say some of these, you know, we spend a lot of money, the staff, the cost of it is exorbitant, but some of them actually represent several countries. So you might have somebody, for argument's sake, he might be our ambassador to United Kingdom, but he might also be responsible for Wales, Northern Ireland, who knows, for France and for Greece, whatever. And so they're kind of made up. But if an embassy works properly, what they should be doing is trying to attract people to come here as investors, as tourists, and you know, bring in business to their country. And maybe they should be given marks out of 10 for how well or not they do it every year. And if they're not doing the job, close it. Otherwise, why is it open? What's its purpose? You know, and particularly if it's in a country where you don't have many Gambians, then you know, why have an embassy there? So you know, to a certain extent, I agree with you, but I think they should be given kind of marks,
Let us cut
marks
the
out
cost.
of 10.
We have to start
Honestly,
cutting costs in this country.
like he said, I think we are going back to the same point that we started with, that we can do it as a country if, you know, all these things are put into
Managing
place.
time.
Exactly.
Our producer said we should start cutting costs and start managing time on this platform.
Well, I did ask you whether we had time for this discussion.
All right, Mr. Ade, I mean, we apologize for taking all of your time today.
Yet again. Yes. Yesterday I was Julie, today I'm
so
Mr.
I mean, you've taken us almost halfway of the program. So thank you very much. Yes, this is what we have on the newspaper. No newspapers. This is what we did some of the headlines.
Newspaper review kicked off some of the discussions.
Exactly.
For
So
sure.
that's what we have. We'll take a short break, and from the break, then we'll be doing the click segment with my own pada, Churchill Balde. We'll be back.
The future is now with QCell's 5G network. Experience speeds like never before with our new 5G Rocket Fixed Internet plan. Get speeds from 10 Mbps to 100 Mbps. Your 5G-enabled devices. Walk into QCell headquarters to get one of our 5G routers and experience the true feeling of 5G. Only with QCell. QCell brings you the future. Tech, innovation, incredible speed. The future is now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunyabus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
QCell brings you the future with our ultimate voice and data bundle plans in one package. Get unlimited data packages with flexible validity and enjoy what true internet feels like. Get 30 minutes of on-net and off-net calls with 5 gigabytes of data for just $350. or get bigger bundle packages from 10 gigabytes to 20 gigabytes with over 100 on-net and off-net voice calls and enjoy the fastest internet speed in the Gambia. You can also buy 1-day, 3-day or even 7-day packages and enjoy unlimited data bundles with uncapped speeds. Just dial *343# today and experience the limitless capabilities of the QCell network. *343# should be your favorite code to dial now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, we innovate, others follow.
Step into the Espas Motors showroom for your luxurious name brand vehicle. Located along the Bertil Harding Highway, Espas Motors is the Gambia's authorized dealer for Chery, Kia, Ford, and now we bring you the new Peugeot model 3008 SUV. 18-inch alloy wheels, 216 inches high ground clearance, keyless entry system, start and stop button, rear parking assistance system with reverse camera, adaptive cruise control with speed limit, LED daytime running lights, front and side airbags, 8-inch HD touchscreen. Not to forget our exquisite Peugeot Landtrek double cabin pickup with 2.1-liter diesel engine, 6-speed manual transmission 4x4, hill descent control, LED daytime running lights. Espas Motors, the authorized dealer for Peugeot. Visit us today or call us on 35-2222 or 353-4444.
Do your banking the smart way with the new Ajibank mobile app. Transfer money.
Before we go on the click segment, I would like to wish my boss, my favorite person, Kujeka, a happy birthday. I mean, Kuje inspired me a lot when I started with the Q group. She trained me, she polished me, she did a lot of things. She even brought oil from home for me to apply on my skin. Yeah, so Kuje, happy birthday, boss, wherever you are. Now let's go to the click segment with my brother, Man in Black.
But you know, I can't go on with this without acknowledging my boss lady's birthday. Happy birthday, Kuje.
Yeah.
Why are you all hijacking the show?
Oh, well, Kuje is a special person.
No, affair si mom.
Kuje contributed to who I am today, so happy birthday.
Allow me to wish her as well. Do man malen wax ne tay moy birthday am bi lolé na hijack affair.
Wala ñu xaar towards the end of the show nga wéyal.
Wow, so let's do the clip.
Anyways, it's your man Churchill Bale, and today I am here with the amazing Diha. Hello, sis.
Hello, good morning. Good morning, Gambia. Good morning, yéen ñëpp ma fi fekka di leen wax is Diha, Miss Talin. maa ñëwaat fii QTV. fan yii moom gis naa ne moom. waaw yow QTV daal ñoo joxante fan yii.
fii sa kër la yow you are welcome at any time. ba pare yaa ngi mention Talin. Talin was everywhere. During those days. Understand nga everywhere. Lan moo inspire that song.
Talin is a long story because Talin moom. May yàlla la rek, you know, and also I always listen to Brenda Fassie. Okay. So songam boobu mooy Hili Kuna, so moom laa jël ma remix ko. Okay. Then man ma def ko Talin. Because Talin foog naa ku nekk sa maam daf la doon label wala sa yaay. Yeah. So ma jël si story ma doon label, then ma def ko song, then everybody like it.
Maybe this current generation duñ xam loolu noonu. So bëgg naa nga joxe a little freestyle of that Talin ñu mun a xam okay kan mooy Diha.
Okay. Talin di malemu, musudolemu, akama famalo, lunkira tata, ula kono ula bakono, lonyi nola aninsambale benaje, jara samba, ole mafamati.
So now what we'll do, I will also play the Talin video. So let's play the Talin video.
Luta
people have an idea who you are. Why after song bini you talk like digatuñ la understand nga yow demal nga to a point bo xamne gamen music bi téw nga ko sa loxo wa ñu talk rek you went MIA all of a sudden la mo wala lolu
because after song bi bum gene dama amone sign ak Prince Art Bouba Ndour Senegal then madam ñu a deal pour make an album then after def nañ singles gene nañ ñu ngon ci promotion bi waye after affaire yi dafa njug like you know then after I was like I'm not 2 years yo xam I was like I'm mangi stress on my how wanna buy music bi nekk ci business bi so waaye xam nga rek soo loobe nit ki li nga bëgg doo ko mën a buy then after loolu ma ne you know what then si la pack suma bagage yi ma ñëw delluwaat Gambia
mashallah
so I'm here now
so léegi boo demee woon nga ñëw obviously gis nga changes how do you see the music industry now nu evolve ak yooyu noonu how do you see it now
moom alhamdulillah because ñun bu ñuy start music media bari wutoon Gambia da nga doon organise soo sax maybe sa waa kër yi ak boppi koñ mi ñoom ñooy ñëw support la waaye léegi alhamdulillah léegi soo wootee ñëpp dinañ ñëw support la télé bari nañ léegi radio bari nañ léegi promotion bi léegi la gën a yomb ko ñun suñu time so I was so happy bi ma gisee changes right now if you come to the music yeah I'm so happy
so feel nga ne because you've been away for a very long time so foog nga ne prepare nga sa bopp well pour nga ñëw nga fitaat si this current generation nga mun a ànd ak gaay foog nga ne prepare nga sa bopp well
I'm always the queen of the music you know I'm always the queen
ñu bari nag ñu ngay claim title boobu noonu de so yaa ma wax ne yaa nekk the real queen
you know why because lu gën a important si artist mooy nga liggéey fi loo xam ne suy jël 100 years sax people will still you know dama fi liggéey loolu noonu ba nga xam ne saa su ma ñëwee ne du ma fi nekkaat di naan ok may ni because am naa benn loo xam ne at least people know it and talent bi mu ngi si man always I got the talent always te li ma nekk Sénégal nekkuma woon tamit di nelaw maa ngi doon yokk tamit suma bopp loo xam ne because now Diha is also a producer I'm a singer but at the same time a producer
she has evolved
dama ñëw tamit pour ubbi suma studio am xale yoo xam ne dinaa leen jël ñoom tamit pour dimbale leen you know because music noonu la you know
foog ñu uplift one another
foog ñu jàppalante so man fi may woyee ak just now there's many females here who are singing but most of them soo leen dégg all lu ñuy wax na Diha moom inspire Diha mi something
that's true
so li important mooy talent and I always have the talent so I think
so baa ñu seetaan sa video bi and we'll be right back stay tuned
Lakano kameke na maniji no bulu Ntirolo kafonye ya mirai mandoku Ngwai khane abetena kadusonde mole kono Akano Nkani nyole Nakano Nekano lede Ntelala ni mana Tilafula fele melo kukumbola
Bale comme na ko wee dafa mel ni queen bi dellu si na waat
queen bi dellu si na
the real queen the real queen
waaw lu ma dégg nii the queen is back
so fi nekk ne amuñ time mu bëri léegi la ma boo ñëw about this song understand la moo inspire song bi because am na lu bëri loo fa wax and is it ne yow comme because yaa ngi ne Kano
dool ñaamani
is it something loo dunda Is it something lo
yes, it's something dunda nako because mbëggeel moom ñëpp lay dof loo surtout soo amee crazy love xam nga mbëggeel yi dañ bëri te ute.
Ok.
Mbëggeel yi fetal am na paaka bi am na jaasi bi am na puso bi am na.
Jànganaa lu es.
Bu nekk am na. So comme ñun artist lañ and I have a friends ñoo xam ne they always have this love problem ak seen jëkkër wala seen boyfriend you know and they always like calling me di ha ni so man tam si loolu bokk na li ma gën a inspire to do this song because sometimes da ngay gis jigéen mu toppa góor yow sax da ngay jaaxle kii lan la gis kii no góor tamit the same thing
góor bi la
you know so moo tam ko kanooy dool ñaama daay dool tooroon
are you married?
No, I'm not married.
Bëgguloo jëkkër?
Of course.
Ah, man maa ngi available de.
Hey. Penda, ana nombaan bi sax.
Anyways, lan la ñu expect from Diha because you're fully back. Lan la ñu expect upcoming projects, album or what? Lan la ñu expect si Diha?
Okay, EP bi génn na. Kanoo bi si la bokk ak Mama bi ak featuring Attack ak Sherry.
Oh.
Yeah. Léegi Diha right now maa ngi si school tour laa ñëw start. Then after school tour maa ngi plan pour def yeneen project.
So I'm informed
everything.
Time bi is almost up. So finally.
Léegi sa mujjanteli kaddu si gars yi pour teg because xam na ne di nga ñëwaat.
Okay. Like I say, Diha is back. Diha is back. Ku ma bëgg a invite for shows because ñu bari xamuñ ne maa ngi fii. So I'm not sure yoo xam ne they don't see me and the fans say Diha lu la gisuñ la ci show bi. Okay. Pour gars yi producers yi promoter am around pour shows yi ak.
Wow, the queen is here.
The queen is
Book her for your events. She's here. Wow, te moom nag su ñëwee daf dee tànga. You know, people love the time-telling. Just to inform you, driver's license to be renewed every 5 years. The Gambia government is working on it. Very soon we'll start renewing our driver's license every 5 years. Until we come here again next week, have a wonderful day.